Crabs in this group are classified by their last pair of legs. The thoracic legs are modified closer to their back with a pair of hinged pincers. These modified pincers are used to eat, display for potential mates, and to decorate their carapace with shells. This group of crabs contains 300 extinct and 240 living kinds of crabs. The oldest fossil from this group of crabs dates back to the Jurassic period, about 200 million years ago. This crab superfamily is unique from other crabs because of the appearance of its abdomen. It includes 182 species, 24 genera, and 4 families. This group of crabs has been around since the Cretaceous period, about 145–66 million years ago. To move around, these crabs rely on drag-powered swimming, a kind of motion where the crab paddles in a horizontal, circular motion. They push water behind them similar to how you'd row a boat. This group of crabs also contains a single superfamily called Cyclodoropoidea. Within this superfamily are 3 families: Cyclodorippidae, Simonomyidae, and Philotimolinidae. Crabs in this group are more physically and mentally advanced than other crabs, and they are split into 2 groups: Heterotremata and Thoracotremata. These 2 groups are distinguished based on the positions of the genital openings. In Heterotremata, the genital openings on the males are found on their legs, while they are found on the sternum in females. In Thoracotremata, the openings for both the male and female are on the sternum. Crabs from this group date back to the Bethonian period, about 168–166 million years ago. Crabs mate directly after they've molted while at higher risk of predation. When a crab molts, its hard outer shell comes off and is replaced by a soft shell that is newly developed underneath. They choose to mate after molting because their hard exoskeleton makes the mating process difficult. Males find a female that is preparing to molt and will cradle her before she molts. After mating, the male will stay with the female until she has regrown her exoskeleton to protect her. After mating, the female holds its eggs underneath its abdomen. This often appears as an orange, spongy material under their carapace. Blue crabs are named the beautiful swimmer, or Callionyx sapitis in Latin. They can swim through the water column with the use of their fins, which act like a paddle to travel. These fins are really a pair of modified, flat back legs. They not only taste great, but they are beautiful to watch in the wild. Their shell is a faint turquoise color with their legs a deep blue. Their name comes from the color that their bodies take on while they're still alive. However, because their shells turn red once they've been cooked. The habitation range for the Dungeness crab is more varied than the blue crab. They live in Pacific coastal waters all the way from Alaska down to Baja, Mexico. They are named after the first town that began harvesting them for food, Dungeness in Washington state. Although they inhabit and are harvested all along this coast, 70% of their total catch is harvested between California, Oregon, and Washington. To be harvested, these crabs must be at least 6.25 inches, 1.60 meters, in length, and must be male, although they can grow up to 10 inches, 0.3 meters. Their shells range in color from dark brown to purple. Although these crabs are a favorite among restaurant goers, they're not easy to get to the table. They are excellent at avoiding being caught, masters at hiding and avoiding traps. The snow crab goes by many names, its Latin name, Cancer quinbumi, being the most accurate. One of their most common names, the rock crab, comes from where they love to live, crevices of rocks deep in the ocean. They are found in waters along the east coast of the United States. They are also sometimes called the spider crab because of their long, spindly legs that resemble the body of a spider. Likewise, the length of its legs also leads to it being called the queen crab. Their legs are quite long, but shorter than that of the king crab. Snow crabs are one of the most popular crabs to cook with, and are often expensive. This is because they are only harvested in 3 locations around the world: the coasts of Alaska, Japan, and Canada and Maine. King crabs are appropriately named because of their spectacularly large sizes. The king crab, or Paralithodes kamchaticus, can grow up to 10 feet (3.05 meters) in length and weigh up to 25 pounds (11 kilograms). To put that into perspective, the legs alone can grow to be 5 feet in length. In fact, their legs make up the bulk of their body size, their dark red carapaces only reaching about 11 inches (0.3 meters) in length. To make their bodies more interesting, the abdomens of king crabs are so distinctive that they're often referred to as the animal's tail. The tail is shaped like a fan and is positioned at the rear of the shell. Because their legs are so long, each pair has its own set of duties. A king crab has 5 sets of legs in all, with the center 3 the only ones used for walking. The front 2 claws contain the pinchers, with the right pincher usually being the largest. The back 2 legs are small, tucked underneath the carapace, aid in sperm transfer and the cleaning of embryos. Although the crabs are so large, only about a quarter of its body is edible. So unfortunately much goes to waste. Usually, if you're eating king crab, you'll be eating the legs and claws, which contain delicate meat. The meat is attractive both in taste and sight, the insides a pure white surrounded by a deep red on the outside. Although these crabs go by the name Florida stone crab, they can be found along the western North Atlantic Ocean, as far as Connecticut down to Belize. They are most commonly found off the Gulf of Mexico, the Bahamas, and in salt marshes in Georgia and South Carolina. Stone crabs have an advantage over predators because they can grow missing limbs back. If a predator, such as a grouper, tries to eat them, they can simply leave their limb behind. Interestingly, not only will their limbs grow back, but they will come back stronger than before. People who have eaten stone crabs say it tastes like a mixture between lobster and shrimp, making it a favorite at restaurants. Most toxic crabs are included in the Xanthidae family, which includes a group of crabs with black-tipped claws. Not all crabs of this family are toxic, and the crabs don't produce the toxins themselves. Even some crabs in the same species are not always toxic. So this leads scientists to believe that the toxins come from the crab's diet or from symbiotic bacteria. Because crabs do not have spines and cannot bite, they have no way of transferring poison through contact. Therefore, you can only become poisoned by consuming them. Xanthid crabs will hold toxins in their muscles and egg masses, and can hold saxitoxin and tetrodotoxin, 2 of the most deadly substances found in the natural world. These substances are so toxic, in fact, that it only takes half a milligram to kill a grown adult human. Even cooking these crabs does not kill the toxins because they are heat stable, remaining in the crab's tissues after being cooked. Fortunately for most of the world, these crabs are only found in Australia, so they are generally not a concern for consumption. Fortunately for Australians, these crabs are usually small, so they are not likely to be confused with crabs commonly used for consumption.